What's going on, people? Welcome to DR Sports and welcome to another transfer roundup. Happy Monday to every single one of you. Robbie's not here. He's gone. He's gone to start pre-season. He's going to embark on Arsenal's quest to the Premier League title. Starts today.
The victory tour starts now.
The victory tour starts now. Big up, Laurie. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. Good.
Happy?
I'm good.
Signing
I'm
through
good.
the door, everything happy?
Been a little bit of a tour myself. Just come back from Lisbon. Very nice place. Enjoyed it. And got left behind. But hey, man.
Someone's got to hold down.
Someone's got to hold down the fort. I guess it had to be me.
Yeah. Nicky Hawkins, West Ham fan TV.
Not as
emotional,
happy,
not as happy as Laurie. Emotional fan for you. Emotional week, or not even week, just whole
life.
Yeah,
just life.
With Declan Rice leaving, but how you feeling? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right, man.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Right, charging up the batteries, ready for next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be here for
Feeling
you,
good.
man. And Doyle lad, big up Doyle lad.
All right, yeah.
How you feeling?
All right, lad, yeah. I feel like a little bit like when we get into this, you'll see what I feel like. I'll tell you that. Do you seen that meme now where he goes, I don't get nervous? Yeah. This transfer window is making me nervous, mate, yeah. It's hard work, lad, watching my team at the moment. Like, it really is the business.
Doyle's getting nervous. There you go. So we've got a lot to talk about. Man United is on the radar. There's a lot to talk about with my team. I kind of don't want to start there though, because
He does.
All right then. Right, we'll start at Man United, but we will be talking Manchester United. Andre Onana, the guy behind me, has all but signed for Manchester United. He will be a Manchester United player. We're on to Rasmus Højlund now as well. Harry Maguire, no longer Manchester United captain, stripped of the captaincy.
That was an emotional Twitter.
Emotional
But
post.
he promises to keep it professional.
Promises to keep trying anytime he wears the shirt.
Whoever's the incoming captain.
100%. We'll be talking about that. And also maybe Chelsea being in for him as well. Man United going to explore Amrabat. And we'll be talking about West Ham, what you're going to do with the Declan Rice money, the aftermath of that. Tottenham, Son confirms that he's turned down opportunities to leave Spurs. He wants to stay. Liverpool, we're going to be talking about that. Fabinho not going on the tour. Hendo, lad, what's happening there? He has gone on the tour, but the offer's there. Is that kind of going away now? Big rebuild. Calvin Phillips in as well. Chelsea. It's all breaking down with Lukaku. There's loads going on there. Moise Caicedo. So a lot to bring you on the show, and obviously Arsenal as well with some of his Declan Rice's comments following his incoming. And
Hey, we still need to do a lot of business.
Yeah, and Thomas Partey, Emma Smith Rowe not included in the USA squad as well.
Yeah,
so
interesting
stuff to talk about. But at the top, let's talk about Man United. Andre Onana.
I thought you said we're starting at the top.
Yeah, but let's get to the biggest and the best. You know what I mean? Andre Onana is gonna sign for Man United.
Yep.
Let's go around.
You must be made up about that.
I'm super happy, super excited. You think of like transformative signings that literally can change the way that you play.
Good luck.
You say it starts at the back. I've had my say on the David De Gea situation. It's over now. Thank him for everything he's done. But it's really exciting that we're going in this direction so quickly. Considering what's going on at the club with budgets and monies and takeover and stuff like that, it just shows me that Ten Hag's really in charge. And within a year, he's gone, you're not the captain anymore. You're a legend and you're gone, Ronaldo. Harry Maguire, you're not even just not captain, you're not going to play. And David De Gea, you're amazing. I've done press conferences talking to Ten Hag, asking him about David De Gea, so he's amazing. Like, yeah, we really want him to stay, sign a new deal. Gone.
Yeah.
So it's exciting for Man United. And Onana is a fantastic goalkeeper, man. He has all the attributes of a modern day, forward-thinking, front-footed goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Decent shot stopper as well. You know, that is the primary function. Yeah. But in terms of how he is on the ball, I think there's a lot of excitement around it. Look, there is one thing I do want to say, that as Man United fans, we do this. It's all or nothing. So now we're getting him. It's like, he's like the best keeper in the league already. Forget Edison, forget Alisson. We got the best straight away. Or it's like, why are we getting this player? Look at Mount. He's right. There's never any in between with Man United. Let's just enjoy Onana, let him settle in. We know he's played under Ten Hag, but he does have the attributes to be able to go on and mix it with the best.
I agree.
And let's talk about Alisson.
Yeah.
you know how important it is to have a keeper who's on playing like that. Ramsdale also, but
it's just what you said. To echo what you said, mate. You said transformative signings. This is exactly one of them. What your manager's doing, and I hate to admit it, I really, really like him, lad. I do. I love Ajax philosophy, and he's come in and he's right. I need ball players to do my system. He's brought Martinez in. He's brought Mount in, and with this lad now, we all seen him in the Champions League final, didn't we? See the passes that he was doing against Manchester City, one of the best teams to keep possession, close the gaps, but he found them, and he was doing forward thinking passes. For me, I said it earlier the night before the stream, Onana is like a keeper right in between Alisson and Ederson. He can play with his feet, but he's got good goalkeeping skills. He can command the box. He's a great prospect for you, and I hate to see it, to be quite honest with you. I'm a little bit worried about it, lad, I am. But he's still got to do in the Prem. He absolutely does. And whether or not he'll have that time and space to find them wonderful passes that he did in the Champions League final, we'll see. But having the composure to do it on the big stage speaks for itself, to be quite honest with you. That's a good signing. I think
that's an excellent sign. If you speak to any even non-United fans, and if you say, what is the one position that you need to address in the close season, I'm sure you would agree it was a goalkeeper, first and foremost.
Well, not over a striker, but I don't know, but to be fair, because it got so bad with De Gea, it worked its way up. So it's much of a muchness because we still need to get a striker.
When Pep Guardiola come into Manchester City, the first thing he done was outed a fan favourite goalkeeper, someone that everybody loved at the club. You couldn't have thought in a million years Joe Hart would have left that club. He was Man City through and through. He was passionate. The fans loved him, and the first thing he done to implement his philosophy and his style of play was go out and I want my one in.
Got to be ruthless.
And that is it. I remember people being up in arms, like Man United some Man United fans are about De Gea. How can you let him go? Blah blah blah. Look how it's turned out. You know what I mean? Ederson plays every game pretty much. He's he was a massive part of their early rebuild. And you've got to start from somewhere, And I know you sound after a striker, but first of all, get the goalkeeper situation right. I think. This is and I know there'll be Man United fans in the comments and stuff, but I think when you support a club, you're a little bit blinded by, certain players and, especially ones that have been there for a long time. You have to let the manager and trust the manager's process, because there are going to be Man United fans up in arms, but De Gea, for me, from an outsider, was very overrated, and he cost you a lot of goals.
In his later years, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
he had a couple of really good world-class seasons, but apart from that, I think he was overrated.
The steady decline was there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say, I'm not sure if he's overrated as more shot, if you know what I mean. I just think that he's seen better days.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the Premier League's passing him by a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
Continually got exposed.
The game is passing by. Him as a goalkeeper. And when you look at Onana, with his feet,
spot on, lad.
Can rival
one of the best.
Probably with his feet, he's the best in the league now.
With that,
just with the attributes he has. Obviously, he has to come here and do it. And as a United fan, I'm going to stress, we are going to concede goals, guys. That we're like, bloody hell. That will happen. City do that sometimes. Liverpool do that sometimes. It will happen, or we're going to concede a chance because Onana tried a Cruyff turn, and it will happen.
For the first few months, without a doubt, lads. I remember Alisson did one.
Exactly.
Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah. But what fills me with confidence is like what you said, Nicky, is that actually we've got the perfect manager for the perfect player at the perfect time. And he's had him before, and you need that. Ten Hag needs to get that balance of taming his eccentricness of how he plays, but not too much, because you still want him to do the things that make him who he is. When you see some clips of him, he's literally in midfield sometimes. It's insane. And I sit in a bit of Old Trafford with a lot of people who've been going for a long time, the old fogies, I'm going to have to give them a debrief or a briefing before.
Tell them what to expect.
I sit next to a few guys that even now, obviously Ten Hag's trying to get his philosophy going, even though it's De Gea and it's going a bit wrong. But we're passing it about a bit more. Old guys around me. What are we bloody doing? Get bloody rid of it.
Lump it over the top.
I'm going to say, Joe, listen, this new guy, he does this a lot. So just keep calm. He won't listen.
Yeah. But it's all right, John, lad, don't worry. What I would say, is we talk about spines in team, right? Ten Hag has come in and he's implementing a very good spine so far. So Onana, Martinez, Varane, Casemiro, and all you're missing right now, lad, is that key number 9 to make that strong spine. It transforms teams in the way that, you know, when your defenders have got a good goalkeeper behind them, they can push up a little bit higher. They can pass the ball back sometimes and trust them.
The whole confidence of the team is enhanced.
It's huge. It's the same with Arsenal. When Ramsdale started playing boss, look how better your team was. It makes a huge difference for the mentality of the team. It doesn't matter how many goals you score. Every single good team, and this is the truth, starts from the back and you build from
and that's
there.
why I was saying earlier, I think that is the most important area that you needed to address, and you've done that.
But
and I think
you've
he's a
also
very good
got
keeper.
an old guard that needs to go.
Yeah, he's the last Sir Alex player.
They're synonymous over the last 10 years with failure.
Yeah.
For a club like Man United. And I know there's going to be people saying, oh, what do you know about failure? I know a lot about failure. I know a lot about failure and I know a lot about pain. But, you know, they are synonymous. There was you know, and I said this to you a couple of years ago, there was a toxic environment in there, you know, people with the wrong mindset. And Roy Keane tells you every week about mindsets and how you have to be the best. And a lot of them just didn't have that in them. And I think he's the last of the...
He's literally the last Sir Alex Ferguson player left, and now we moved on.
And I think as well, just a quick one about De Gea that I had noticed, right, his decline is that, okay, we know he's not the best on the ball, everybody knew that, but what got him through the gate was his shot stopping.
Yeah.
But once that started to deteriorate, he just got laid bare.
He's sort of saying what's left. And look, even as close to last season, it's really ironic how things happen. There's a keeper that's holding the Golden Glove at the end of the year.
It's mad.
You know how mad that is?
It's mad.
Obviously, yes, it's a defence job, the Golden Glove. It's defending better as a team. It's not just one guy.
Yeah.
But even last year, I mean, I'm there at all the games, and even last year, there were certain games where he did still save us points. But like you said, there was clearly ones where you was at.
I went there and he cost
when
you
he literally
points.
threw it in the net.
Yeah.
So
some of the clangers
it's counterbalanced. That doesn't
some of those clangers were like highlight real clangers.
You can't have that at top.
Really bad.
You can't have it. If you want to win stuff, there's no room for error. There really isn't.
There isn't. Staying on Manchester United, Harry Maguire has been stripped of the captaincy. He put out a post saying, you know, after a conversation with the manager today, he's informed me that he's having a change of captaincy. Whilst very disappointed, you know, I will support the team, blah, 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 blah. Thank you to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who gave me a chance, etc., etc. And then following that, lots of reports, as expected, that, you know, he's upset, wants to leave. With West Ham and Chelsea fans, Matisse, at me, what's going on? Does Poch want a new revolution at the bridge with Maguire at the helm next to Thiago Silva? No problem, we can talk. But West Ham has been mentioned for this man. Nicky, as a West Ham fan, would Harry Maguire be a good signing?
Yeah, he would. I think he, for Moyes' faults, what he does do is he makes players like Harry Maguire better. He makes them better. You know, he plays a certain style when I think the style would suit Harry Maguire. You know, and when you look at Craig Dawson, when he came to us, you know, he was in the same sort of form as him. You know, he was chucking it away, slipping all over the shop. You know, and when we signed him, I actually said, I've never seen a worse signing all my life. And he left.
Typical football fan.
Yeah, he left being one of my favourite players because we love people that they can make mistakes. You know, it won't be as highlighted as much playing for West Ham as it will for Manchester United. But I can't argue with someone like him, especially if he came at a decent, you know, an affordable price.
Well, that's the only thing.
Do you know what the other thing is? We need a captain. Yeah. We need a captain.
Imagine.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Stripped of Man United captaincy. Get a move to West Ham. They're going to love you. You know, you got David Moyes and Nicky behind you. Make him West Ham captain.
Exactly. I think it could happen.
That's mad, isn't it?
Well,
I can see.
Well, he is the England captain.
Is he England captain? Yeah. No, he's not. Harry Kane.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's a different Harry.
He has captained England.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But how do you think? What's the general? I know you can never speak for all fans, but what do you think the general consensus is amongst West Ham fans if Harry Maguire came?
I think we're all still crying about the captain that we've just lost. No, I'm joking. I think I think they'd be okay with it. You know, look, when he was at Leicester, he was a top player. He's not quite the top calibre. He's not quite there. But for clubs like us who are in that section below, I think he'd be perfect for us. I really would. And sometimes we just need a bit of someone to chuck their face in front of it, and they'd love him.
Plus,
that's what he would do.
Let's be brutally honest, and this is no disrespect to you, Nicky, or any West Ham fan, but the level of scrutiny and the demands placed upon him would be totally different. And I think that would be a good sign. The only slight caveat I would add to that is that obviously now you've got the Declan Rice money. You know what I mean? United are going to want. They're going to want.
Well,
the
how
back.
much of it do they have now?
What
You got come with the instalments thing and all that. How much do they actually have of it?
I'll check the Klarna in a minute.
My caveat to it is this, Nicky. Your fans have been moaning all season, that David Moyes is not expanding the football, and you've bought all these players to play better football, and then you're going to go and revert back to type and buy a player like Harry Maguire, who's not going to be able to advance and play expansive football. Yes, he can do the job right now that he's being asked to do, and he'll do it phenomenally. That's what he plays for England. Low block, get your fat head on it, lad, all of that stuff, But is he the player moving forward that you want to build a team around? Does that make sense?
Was that the West Ham way?
Yeah. But I don't think that right now, after losing a player like Rice, we can really sit there and go, well, we want to do it this way. We just need to get through this next couple of seasons and find the next Declan Rice or settle players in. We saw last year, even with Declan Rice, it was a tough season. Too many inexperienced players, not enough, players that come with the leadership qualities. And Dec was a very young captain, taking over from Nobes, and we lost a little bit in there. So he can add a bit.
And let's have it right.
Sometimes you just need it short term.
Let's have it right. If Harry Maguire rocks up to West Ham today, hypothetically, is he your best centre-half?
No, Agade. He's
even maybe Zuma as well.
I would have him at Liverpool, Agade, lad. He's a fantastic player.
But what I would say, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a Man United fan and I can see it's gone wrong for him and I want some money for him. I'm being honest here. The best, if you look at how West Ham play, not necessarily going to be on the front foot, not necessarily defending high up the pitch. Teams aren't necessarily going to press the hell out of West Ham. You're looking at back what it was like for Harry Maguire at Leicester. Give him time and space on the ball. Which this is the whole reason everyone got gassed and he came to Man United in the first place. Time and space on the ball, clipping in some diags. It's all nice. It's all at his own pace. He'd get his head on what he needs to get his head on. Got Zuma next to you. That's fine. We're quite solid here. I actually think style-wise it's actually perfect for him.
It is.
And actually with David Moyes for their next rebuild, they can build with him there because he's got the experience of if you're going to defend deeper, you're not going to be a team on the front foot playing high up on the halfway line. Suits him down to a T. Slower pace football. It's not all action. And I'm not saying that West Ham fans should always want that for their team.
No.
When I look at David Moyes after winning the Conference League, ain't going to change.
We're not going to get that under David Moyes.
Exactly. I think
for
it's
David Moyes, if we're going to keep him, he's a perfect David Moyes player.
I would imagine he'll get a few headed goals as well.
So
the only problem is he's
not for us, though.
So you settled with David Moyes then, essentially?
Well, I ain't settled with nothing. David Sullivan ain't pulling the money out.
Because I want to move away from Man United fairly quickly. I don't want to speed the Man United show, which really, really quickly. Marcus Rashford has reached an agreement in principle for a new 5-year contract till 2028. David Ornstein broke earlier on today. We haven't got all the figures of it's going to be 400 grand a week and all of that side of it yet. But he did say that he turned down offers from England and abroad. Now, I took that as it was Arsenal. Straight away. I just did just to wind people up. But just
not beyond the realms.
Yeah, just really quickly round the tables before we move on. Let's start with you and go round. Good news for Man United to
I think it is. Well, you know me. We talk all the time off air. I've always rated Rashford. I think he's quality. So listen, as I said on one of these shows the other day, when you're talking transfers, it's not just recruitment, it's retention as well. And if you got one of your better players, Rashford, I think that's fair to say, had a very good season last season, although he did tail off towards the end somewhat. Listen, man, he's, you know what you're going to get with him? He's still young enough, he's still good enough. Why not?
I like him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like him. I really like him.
Really important at Man United to keep hold of him?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, a couple of years ago, when he had that, he went through a real dip in form, and he got linked to clubs like us. I would have snapped it. That would have been one of our best signings ever if we'd have signed him. I think if we'd have been able to get him away. But listen, he's part of the furniture at Manchester United. Yeah. He's been one of your better players over the last 5-6 years. You've got to keep players like that. You can't be letting too many go. Although you want to get rid of certain
of the old guard.
You have to keep some of the players that know what the Man United philosophy is.
Exactly that.
To teach the next generation. So there you go.
Every successful team, lad. Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, John Terry, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, David Beckham.
The whole class of 92.
You need them talismans in your team, and if they're a good football as well, that's an added bonus. But they need to be able to remind the rest of the lads that come in, this is our team, this is what we stand for. Love it. Man United look after that boy because he's a good player and he's a good human being and he deserves this contract. Without a doubt, lad. Love that man. It's good,
Just
lad.
to give the other side of the argument, actually, some Man United fans have been saying this is typical of Man United, one good season, and now the expectancy level is going to go up. He scored 30 goals last year. It's his best ever season. Some concern with some Man United fans is that now you're going to make him arguably the highest paid player at the club or just in and around that. Are you going to get that consistency from Rashford? It's not quite there, etc., etc. I don't share that view. I'm with you. For me personally, I look at it and it's not sentimentality. He has to earn it and he has to keep doing it.
Yep.
But Arsenal have their Saka.
Yeah.
You've got your Trent. Like Chelsea had their, even Chelsea we don't
Reece
even care
James.
about.
They've got
Reece James.
Yeah.
Me personally, of a club that's built off that, I need it.
It's essential.
If I'm seeing Rashford go to Arsenal or Chelsea, I'm devastated. I don't care what any Man United fan says.
It's essential, lad.
Some Man United fans don't really care about that. But even away from that sentimental vibe, I just think that we, again, like how we've got the right manager for the right player at the right time. Like under Ten Hag, as this team is evolving as well, you've got players like Martinez, Casemiro, now Onana. You're going to get another striker. Like, the team is changing and getting better. And now I think Marcus Rashford has the perfect manager to understand his strengths, understand his weaknesses, and bridge the gap between them both and get the best version of him. Is the expectancy level gone up now? You're on a 380 grand a week contract, 400 just speculating? Yes, of course it is, because you get, you sign the thing, as we say. That's what happens. It's the pressure's on. But if you're Marcus Rashford's agent and Jadon Sancho's on 350 grand a week,
Absolutely, mate.
and you're trying to get a contract extension and the manager loves you and you've just scored 30 goals.
Think about the contribution that Phil Foden has to Manchester City, and if he got all them expectations put on him to score 30 goals a season, we would never see the lad play, and he's one of the best young talents in England. It's not all about output. There's definitely contributions that you can have in the dressing room, on the pitch and everywhere else, lad. Yeah. He has massive influence. You need him in your team. Simple as that.
Bit of a conspiracy theory. Who do you think the teams in England were that offered him?
I reckon Newcastle, lad. Genuinely. I reckon Newcastle.
But they ain't really got the money like that, though. Because remember, they've got FFP. They can't really spend like that.
No, they can.
They've got it overall, but I mean, like right now,
they can.
It's definitely not Liverpool, anyway.
Not Liverpool.
Mike Ashley spent so little. They've built up some cash.
Obviously, Chelsea did it because
Chelsea.
When you analyse it, there could have been a few clubs Tottenham might have thought.
Tottenham,
Tottenham.
No, they might have looked at it.
Exchange for Kane.
Yeah. We might have had a cheeky inquiry. So look,
would you have had Rashford?
Yeah.
Over Martinelli?
No, I'm not saying that.
Rashford
I'm saying
for the bench,
as an attacking option.
Rashford for your bench.
I mean, listen.
he loves
He's got him there, innit? Yeah,
he loves his team.
He's like, I love it back there.
I've been banging on about it, and we will touch on this later, I'm sure. Is that whilst we're very pleased with the work we've done in the transfer window so far, and we'll be looking to do more, obviously, I absolutely do think we need to be looking at striking options.
Okay.
And someone like Rashford kind of falls into that category.
Okay.
Now, we might have had a cheeky inquiry, but I don't think it probably went too much further than that.
I'd love to see who it was and what they put down.
Chelsea apply for everybody.
Or is it a little bit of spin from the camp of Rashford? Say, look, turn down offers from here and here. So when the wages come out, it's like, look, man, we kept him and he could have gone there. You never know. Yeah. Just really quickly, Scott McTominay, would you take him at West Ham?
I'm trying to offload us. What are you doing the car boot?
Well, we are as it goes, yeah.
Yeah, I would.
And you would as well.
Yeah, I would.
I think he's an underrated player,
So do I.
He's one of those players that fans from other clubs kind of laugh and say, he's not that, not a Man United player. But if you look at his form for United, he's done.
I like him. He's
playing for Scotland as well. He's done well.
Heart on his sleeve player. He's not quite Declan Rice, but he'll do a similar job. And again, I was looking at his stats actually before yesterday, and he's played 60 less Premier League games than Rice, he scored 30 goals. 30
Look at his form for Scotland.
He scored more than Rice.
Yeah, loads for Scotland, love.
Yeah, but it is that whole styles make fights thing, because now Declan Rice is going to be in a team that is on the front foot, creating chances. He can be further up the pitch.
Yeah.
Like McTominay is, that's what you'd expect him to be anyway. Again.
If you look, I touched on it previously, but if you look at the turnaround in Scotland's fortunes, a lot of people you talk to are saying that he's been the catalyst.
Absolutely.
He's one of a few that's been the catalyst surrounding that. So
yeah, okay,
definitely a player there.
Let us know about that. There was a lot of Man United news. I tried not to start there because I know all you Arsenal fans, because Robbie's brought everyone over from AFTV, be in your feelings. But now we are going to get to Arsenal, because we have to speak about Declan Rice.
Yeah.
We have Nicky with us as well, and yourself, Laurie, and we're here to just mediate. Mediate.
It's all right, lad. Don't worry.
I feel like we have spoken about Declan Rice obviously so much.
I thought they'd rename the channel to Declan Rice School.
So because I haven't really been with Nicky so much speaking about the other end of the Declan Rice thing, we'll start with Nicky. Now it's done. 105 million. We've got Matisse on the screen here for no reason.
Doing all those little cheeky faces and that.
Never seen him without glasses.
The spectre of.
Yeah. It's done. How are you feeling? And how do West Ham fill that void? And how do you think he'll do at Arsenal? Kind of 3 questions.
I think he'll be phenomenal at Arsenal. I think he will be phenomenal. Yes, absolutely. He's honestly, people. I've been saying this for you, and ironically, it's been Arsenal fans that have been battling against me for so many years.
They always change the narrative
about how good he is. He's a phenomenal player, and he would never have got the recognition that he would deserved without going to one of the so-called top 6 clubs. Never. He would have never got it at West Ham. Well, no, I'm just saying, I don't call them it. We're just all Premier League clubs in my eyes. You know what I mean? No, but I'm just saying, like a top 6 club, he would have never got the recognition. You're already seeing the narrative changing since he's been there about how good he is and how good he can be. Of course, I'm upset. I'm upset for him leaving, but it's something that we've been expecting for a couple of years. Like there's been speculation for about 4 or 5 years now about him. Chelsea, wasn't it? It's always Chelsea's. The sort of the 360s started at Chelsea, got rejected, got to where it always
Mount's his best friend.
It
always looked like he was always going to go there. Yeah.
So it's something that we've been expecting. I never ever expected him to stay his whole career, because I know the boy a little bit, and he's an ambitious boy, and he's got to be. And I think that's what he deserves to do. He deserves to go and get a move for himself. Whether Arsenal or not is the right move, that's speculation. Nobody knows yet. Let's get him in an Arsenal shirt and see what he can do. Whether that's the right move for him, I know there's a lot of arguments online. Arsenal fans will be adamant that they're back and all that sort of thing, but there's still got to be some evidence, Laurie. There's only 1 year's worth of evidence.
No, you are right.
You know what I mean? And there's other teams that are going to come into the thing. But there is no doubt in my mind that he will make Arsenal a better team than they were last year. And you will see, because of the burden that's been taken off of him. He played in our midfield, phenomenal every week. But he had to play with sometimes a load of shit, if you don't mind me saying. Now he's got some decent players around him. He will fly. He will fly to the moon. He'll be the England captain and he'll be the Arsenal captain.
He will go right to the very top. Right to the very top.
I got that comparison last time. People reckoned that I was sort of...
Like gassing him up too much.
Not gassing him up too much, but they thought I was copying Harry Redknapp. But I'm telling you now, I know what that boy can do. I've seen the talent he's got. And he's, once that gets unleashed and he gets like-minded players and people making him better and coaching methods and all of this sort of stuff, top. He'd be the best in the world in his position. I'm telling you that now.
He's going to be in his position. We've got Camavinga coming up. We've got Tchouaméni coming up. Bellingham coming up.
I'll say Rice's engine is one of the best engines I've seen in a long time. He doesn't remind me of them ball-playing 6s that are like Pirlo or whatever else.
He's not that. Yeah.
He reminds me of no disrespect, it's like Owen Hargreaves, does that make sense? Remember Owen Hargreaves used to run, he wasn't as good a player, run his head off. Henderson, run his head off. Them type of players, he's definitely a cut above them, but his engine is just insane, and that's what I'm worried about. I don't think Arsenal are going to expect him to get 15 assists and 5 goals, 7 goals or whatever. But that's not what he's there. I'm
going to tell you now, he's capable of that. He's ball playing. is very underrated.
Yeah, I think so too.
He can spray that ball around like anyone I've ever seen.
I need to see it.
Yeah, I know.
I think what you said about the burden of West Ham, where he can't lose the ball, he's got to retain the possession, he's got to do all of that type of stuff. In a more expansive team like Arsenal, I want to see this boy blossom. I really do, lad, because when I watched him for England, I was like, this kid's actually good.
It's like you don't listen when it's
yeah.
That's the arrogance of, like, you know, top six or whatever. When you see someone doing something at West Ham, like you say, won't get the recognition.
No.
But then I kind of had that moment as well at the World Cup, seeing him just with the rest. You're going, the Euros, and then when he was with Bellingham in the World Cup, you're like, he belongs here.
Fits in. Yeah,
he belongs here. You've heard everyone wax lyrical about Declan Rice. How are you feeling?
First of all, I endorse everything that he's just said.
I bet you do.
No, but it's interesting because when we were linked with him, like a lot of Arsenal fans, I started to pay even more attention to what he brings. And I have to say, the attributes that he possesses, you spoke about the engine, the ball-playing skills, the leadership. I was like, yeah, he pretty much ticks all the boxes. And for me, it's a statement signing. It's a signing that says to the likes of Man City and everybody else, listen, man, we ran you close last time, and next time we're coming to take over. And I think with Declan Rice at the helm, bringing a couple of them. No, I'm being serious. And a lot of Arsenal fans, you know, I'm sure they'll tell you a similar story. We believe now that things are being put in place so we can mount a serious challenge. Yeah, and it's all good, man. I'm really made up about this signing. I really think it's going to...
How transformative do you think he is to the team? Like,
very.
How, compared to Xhaka and Partey, when they're in their groove of the peak of Arsenal's season last year, now you're going to go Havertz and Rice. How transformative is that to the team? How much better does it make Arsenal by swapping them two for them two?
I'd say immediately at least 20%, at least. And as Nicky said earlier, he's going to get better with the coaching, with the players around him. I think his shoulders are broad enough to carry the level of expectation. And I think you're going to see a guy that will be that next phase, you know what I mean? Him, Saka and people like that.
I like
They'll
his
be carrying the club forward.
I like his story. I like his character. He got rejected. He didn't give up. He maybe lacked certain things that Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City in technical abilities that they wanted, but then worked extremely hard to become a player that you just cannot miss in your team. And that's why I think going to Arsenal right now, he's got something to prove. But exactly what you just said about the broad shoulders, the lad's got it. He knows he's had this fight before.
The only one slight reservation I have is not with him so much. It's with some of the fans, some of the Arsenal fans. And I kind of, when I speak to some Arsenal fans, because we spent 105 million or whatever it was, they're expecting a sort of Pirlo type.
No.
Sort of, he's not that guy.
Let me
not
just,
yet anyway.
Let me just say this. The market at the moment is mental. Yeah. It's absolutely mental. £105 million, I think you've got a deal. Because when you think about what you're selling to Inter Milan for £50 million, Balogun, a guy that's played 2 games for Arsenal and never scored a goal, 50 million, and you was moaning about 100 million for a kid that was a captain, 250 games, 50 games for England.
I hear that. It's just that you speak to some fans, and I'm kind of picking up that impression that for 105 million, they're expecting to see a guy that's going to beat 3, 4, 5 man, curl it in the top corner. You know what I mean?
Ronaldo teams.
You have to understand what he's bringing to the table first and foremost, and then go from there.
But how important is it to keep Thomas Partey now? Because there's apparently he hasn't.
There's lots of rumours swirling around Partey, and I'm going to say for the record, I want him to stay.
Okay.
He did tail off a little bit towards the end of last season, with injuries, a bit of loss of form in there as well. So you know what football fans are like. What have you done for me lately? So and now we've got this nice new shiny Declan Rice project. Oh yeah, Partey. I'd let him go. No.
Well, Arsenal fans were saying that Thomas Partey is the best.
He couldn't lace his boots last season.
100%. Casemiro, who hardly plays. It's all about Thomas Partey.
You always say that. Which fan said that?
Mate, I sat in an AFTV studio with everyone. Lee changed his board.
Me, lads.
Lee changed his board.
Because
Liverpool fans like that as well. Don't get. There's fans in every set that'll just go overboard, lad. There really is, and Arsenal fans in particular. There is some.
I think that's a little childish of you to sort of brand all Arsenal fans in that.
I'm saying I said some Arsenal fans.
You're a nice humble fan, lad. So you'd expect.
Yeah, not necessarily.
No, but I would like Partey to stay.
How important is it? Because, like I said, it is a big call from Arteta to shift
It is.
In midfield, in the engine room, when it keeps everything ticking, the balance has got a balance.
Well, I'm going to say on the record now, I want Partey to stay, but I think there's a very real possibility that he could go. I mean, woke up this morning, I saw reports that he's going to be joining the tour a little bit later. You're also reading rumours about big money offers from Saudi Arabia. When you look at it, if you're Thomas Partey, it might be very hard to turn down that deal, especially with the likes of Declan Rice coming to the club.
How old's he now?
30.
Yeah.
But having
So
said
you're
that,
getting to the twilight years of your career. One last big exciting deal. You might think to yourself, well, towards the end of last season, even when I was back to full fitness, I was kind of getting a little bit overlooked there. But could that be a sign of the times? Is it time to make that move now? Personally, I'd like to see him stay.
Arteta needs to tell him, you're not leaving, lad. The reason why we didn't win the league and we couldn't compete in Europe last season is because we didn't have the depth. This year, we have Champions League football and we want to push for the Premier League title. We need you here because you're going to be a tool for us, lad. Every team needs to keep hold of these players.
But I know you're 100% right, though, but I don't think it's Arsenal pushing him out the door.
He wants to leave.
I think when you've been offered a deal like that and you're in the twilight years of your career, you may weigh it up and think
30 years old, they send up some gold aeroplane for you to, gold private jet for you. With the cargo hold full of money. I wouldn't sing.
You're talking
dust,
about
mate.
generational wealth, not just for him and his family. But
Well, look what Neves says when he went out there. He said, I wanted to give my family what they could. You know.
So,
just a couple of super chats here. Sabish says, Rice is a good player, but he will never be the best six because of Rodri. I'm a Barca fan and he is my dream sign and he is the closest thing to Busquets. You mean Rodri?
Yeah.
Not Rice.
He means Rodri. Rodri is quality.
Rodri
is he's the finished article of what Dec's going to look at.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm a little bit worried about with some Arsenal fans. They're going to think we've automatically got something.
But he's been playing, with all due respect, he's been playing under Pep Guardiola. He's been playing under bloody David Moyes.
That's fair.
A says Arteta will copy Pep's box in midfield, 2 DMs and 2 10s.
So will Liverpool.
Liverpool. Everyone's copying Pep at the moment, aren't they? Some other super chats here. Tina says Arsenal to win a title next season with all the money they have just spent, and forget the Champions League, but an FA Cup or Europa League. Since they are in, since they're back in a Champions League draw.
I was on a show the other day and we were speaking about that very same subject. I spoke on this show a couple of times about the level of expectation with the likes of Declan Rice, Timber, one or two others coming in, added to the fact that last season we ran City, fairly close enough. The level of expectation next season is going to be different.
Way different now.
And I don't think a FA Cup is going to satisfy a lot of the fans.
It shouldn't.
No, you can't just go and win an FA Cup now and then it's
I also don't see you going to just win the Premier League.
And let's be honest as well.
Timber's not a finished article at all.
Well, that's true, but he's highly touted.
He is.
Yeah, he's good.
Costs decent a bit of money. But listen, we all know, we've all seen it with other managers. Spending money can be the graveyard of a lot of managers, because once you start to spend the money, if you don't produce the results, that's when the fans will turn. So it's a big season for us.
Yeah, it is. And Arteta spent a lot of money. He's been absolutely backed, which I think you have to take your hats off to the Arsenal board and the people who made the decisions at Arsenal to completely change around the culture of that club. Even down to the reveal video, when they got people from the culture in there and the way they do it, and you look at it and you just go, that's bloody good, isn't it?
That was Adidas.
It's annoying. Yeah, but it's synonymous with them. When Adidas, when Man United signed a player, that ain't happening. Or when other Adidas, like Arsenal are seen as that culture. It is Adidas, but like when they got Ian Wright in there, and it just works with what they do. But that's cute off the pitch. But obviously, you want to start seeing some stuff on it. And I agree with what you say, though. The sample size is not big yet. Like, we've seen Arsenal fans obviously be very excited, and rightly so, about where they're going to. But they shouldn't think there's a definite.
I think they get overexcited.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think they get a bit I think they get a bit ahead of themselves, and that's saying something from me. You know what I mean? But
what is it? What do you think?
No, because whether they like to admit it or not, Laurie, and this is no disrespect, and people think I'm saying this as a disrespect. I've had people coming at me also.
Normally, when people say this is no disrespect, that means there's something very disrespectful coming.
7 years, and this is a fact, you have not been in the Champions League. You have not been in the Champions League. You have not competed for a title in 7 years, maybe longer. You haven't won one in 20.
Yeah.
So they have to, like, one good sit. Look, I'm not going to sit here and deny that they were going in the right direction, and it's exciting at what's happening at Arsenal at the moment. But there are factors. I remember, as I said to Robbie, a couple of months ago now, I remember when I got a lot of Arsenal fans that are friends, they were sitting in a pub, they was telling me the Invincibles, the only team that's ever gone unbeaten, a whole season unbeaten, winning a title, the only team with this, we're going to dominate for years. And then what happened? A young Chelsea side with a lot of money and a lot of ambition surpassed that Invincible team, left them in the dust. They've won 2 Champions Leagues, something that Arsenal have never done. You know what I mean? It's all well and good sound.
Thanks for reminding me.
No, I don't. But sometimes some of the fans, they need a reality check.
No,
there are teams out there. Newcastle could come hard and fast, like next year.
What is the reality?
Man United.
Arsenal? What is the accurate?
What should they expect?
Yeah, like what is the accurate from where you're as a
challenge again?
Yeah,
I don't think they should necessarily like win the title. If they can get closer to Man City, and they was pretty close, I think that should be. But they need to compete. But what I would say as fans, you know what I mean? Don't tell everyone you're back. Show that you're back. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Listen, I think that's fair enough.
Great season last season. But there's a lot of contributing factors: the decline of Liverpool, the decline of Tottenham, the decline of Chelsea.
Maybe not Tottenham, but yeah.
No,
they were already in the
last 7 years. They've been
teams not
finishing above.
Yeah, that's true.
Arsenal. So there's a lot of factors.
You forget that, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's factors that have got. As I say, it's a lot of talk. But, but Arsenal are showing real.
They're going in the right direction.
Yeah, the trajectory is definitely in the right direction, and I do agree with a lot of what you said there. And it's interesting as well is that I've been having conversations with fans, both in person and online, about expectations for next season. And so far, anyway, I'm saying what I'm expecting to see is that we mount a decent challenge, and we mounted a decent challenge last season, but I want to see us push the likes of City or whoever else it may be right to that final game.
Do you know what I like? I like that your team's doing right now. It makes me excited for next season.
Exactly.
There's more than just 2 teams.
But I would say as well, I want to see a decent Champions League run. Like, I was chatting to some fans the other day and they were saying, well, if we can get out of the group stages.
No,
exactly. And I was
ridiculous.
like, nah, man, come on now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the thing is, and this is gassing up Arsenal a little bit, when I look at the teams around Europe and I look at the best version of Arsenal, Arsenal should be getting to the quarterfinals minimum. Obviously, of course, if in the 16 you get someone Real Madrid, but you never know. Arsenal on their day can beat a lot of teams in Europe.
Look at the Champions League final last year. Okay, City. We all agree that they are the best club side in Europe, possibly the world. Yeah. When they played Milan, are you saying to me that you look at that Milan team? Are you saying that Arsenal?
If Arsenal don't get out of the groups, Arteta gets sacked. How can you not get out of the groups?
But there are some fans saying, well, if we get out because we didn't get out the group stages back in I'm like,
forget that. This is a new Arsenal. Yeah,
exactly.
New Arsenal.
So if they can find a 30-goal season striker right now, they bring someone in who scores 30 goals, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans said to me, it wasn't about the goal scoring, but 30 more goals wins you the league by a long shot. By a long shot, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus is a good player, but he's 11, 12 goal a season.
Exactly. He did miss 4 months of the season.
He did.
And he still got 11, 12 goals.
But that was when Arsenal were at their very best. At their very best when he was playing. So you can find someone like I'm not going to say they're not easy to find, but a Haaland or Kane. I would take Arsenal fans' word for it, because I think that is the next step for Arsenal. When you said it at the beginning of the show, I think that's the next thing that you need to be looking for.
Yeah, we need to address that.
If you can get an Alexis, someone like that.
Mo Salah was our one.
Mo Salah,
he really was.
I mean, there is a consensus amongst Arsenal fans saying, listen, you don't necessarily need that 30-goal a season, man. If you can share the goals around.
You can, but you need
hence, people like Havertz and that coming in. But however, I'm old school like you. I want to see a hitman up front. That guarantees you that.
Lewis has a super chat. Says, we need a top striker. Defensively, we're looking solid, but I have my reservations up front with Jesus, Nketiah, Havertz. Balogun is a risk. doesn't strike fear into teams up front, maybe try João Felix.
He's getting sold anyway, isn't he? So.
Yeah, exactly. And
it might be that they might need to retain his services. Give him a chance, because unless they can, you know what it's like trying to find a striker, man. That's probably
João Felix not even a striker's market.
João Felix is available.
I'll take him on loan.
Great.
I think he fits the same blueprint as Jesus though, and then
he's not a 20 goal man.
They need to go to South America, lad, and go and look for somebody in that Brazilian league, lad, that is gonna light the world on fire, bro. Because that's where you'll get them, believe me, for cheap.
You need an Aguero.
Yeah, South America.
You know what I mean?
Well, everyone does, don't they?
Yeah, of course they do. They're not easy.
Them players are tenner. Yeah, not tenner penny. Let's move on to Liverpool.
Yeah, man.
Yes, lad.
Yeah, man.
Fabinho will not travel with Liverpool for their training camp in Germany. Al Ittihad have bid £40 million for the midfielder. Also, breaking news, well, not breaking news, but news that's out there is Liverpool planning a swoop for Calvin Phillips of Manchester City as a replacement for Fabinho.
Yes, mate.
In this time, there's also been a massive offer for Jordan Henderson, $700,000 a week. Now, I think you were saying he has gone on the tour or will go on the tour.
He's on the tour.
So he's on the tour.
Yeah.
Is that still pending for an answer, or can it still happen, etc., etc.? But talk to us, Doyle. What's happening at Liverpool and what's going on here?
We've got about 75 million outgoing players, and we bought 2. That's what's going on. We're supposed to have a big, massive rebuild this summer, and I just don't like the way the look of the team is going. It seems quite unbalanced. If you're going to let James Milner go, right, not necessarily a starter, but wonderful influence in the dressing room, huge inspiration for the other lads, and Jordan Henderson go, who's your leader and has been there for the last 12 years, knows the culture of the club, knows what Klopp wants. That makes no sense.
But ain't that part of the rebuild, though? Getting rid of the old.
It is, but you transitionally do it. You can't do. We should have been doing this 2 seasons ago, from 2 seasons ago, slowly rebuilding the squad, but we're not. We're trying to do it all in one single window, which is silly, as well as availability of players that can come into the club. You don't want to snatch and grab at things. You want to get the right players for the club. Now, Calvin Phillips, for me, good player, sound. He is. I'll rate him, I do. But he's hardly on a pitch. And if you ask me, Thiago or Calvin Phillips, I'd rather have Thiago, but even him doesn't play very much.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so we need somebody like a Rice who plays 250 games consecutively, lad, and is strong and he's an engine and he keeps running.
But you're bringing in a winner, a treble winner.
That's I mean, he watched.
I think running around lifting the trophies.
Listen, mate, he was there, mate, training every day. He's in there with the lads.
That's fair, but if he's a treble winner, then so am I, mate, because we all watch Man City do it and he didn't do. Do you know what I'm saying, lad? So
he had a season ticket at best.
Yeah, exactly, lad. And so yes, I would like to see a solid number 6 come in, and Calvin Phillips at his very best is that guy. Yes, he is. Is he right now after not 2 seasons without football, never really getting a start, never having consistent anything? It's a gamble.
Just what he needs.
It might be
a new lease of life. Klopp, arm round the shoulder. Listen, forget the injury worries. Henderson's gone. You're literally about to be, if you come here, the future of Liverpool Football Club rebuild.
You know what it is, though. I don't want to be come across as condescending anyway, but I think that I agree with you. I think that's an excellent potential signing.
I do too.
If
he plays at his maximum, if he starts every game and he plays every game, wow, what a signing.
Because you've got to remember, before he went to City, he was much sought after. He's still in England international. Some people would argue why, but he's
yeah, but the
very
team's
good
moving
player.
on from him quick though, because look at Bellingham and look at Rice. They're leaving him in the shadows.
But more importantly,
and then Mount's coming back to the best.
More
as well,
importantly, you're buying a player that if you can. He's got the right sort of challenge in front of him at a big club with a manager like Klopp, who's famed for getting the best out of it. Listen, man, I think that's a good deal.
I don't question
over Lavia. Would you prefer him? Because Lavia's
again, let me just say, right, I do not question the mentality of this lad, and I do not question his ability. Both fantastic, without a shadow of a doubt. I question his fitness. He has not played consistent football, and why would we take a risk on somebody like that? Having said that, Lavia on the other side of things, he's had one wonderful season, he was great, but is he experienced enough to play a number 6 role for Liverpool?
That's a big gamble.
Not really.
Why are you not in for someone like Caicedo?
We're having a look at him, and so if Fabinho goes, that's the type of player we're going to be looking at.
Liverpool got that kind of money?
As just about having said that,
well, they're going to want 40 million quid for Fabinho.
They're going to want 90, 100 million pound for Caicedo. So going towards a Calvin Phillips or a Lavia is probably going to be one of our only options because we won't have the dough for it. So I'm worried about Liverpool's balance right now. That's what I'm worried about. Yes, we bought 2 phenomenal attacking midfielders and he does track back, Alexis, he does. But he's not a number 6.
No.
He's not. And if we're going to have Trent in there, that's just 3 attacking midfielders essentially, or
balance,
1 centre
you
mid.
speak about Arsenal, it's the same. Liverpool need to get this
we
right.
need a number 6. It's one of the most important roles in modern football. It's your pivot, lad. And if we let Fabinho go, who, don't get me wrong, he did have bad form last season, but that's a blip in my opinion. He's only 29 or 20. How old is he? He's like 27 or
I have
something.
no idea.
He's not.
He looks about 30.
He's not an old fella. Yeah, he's not. He's not like he's 31, 32. He's not like. He's not there.
I think he's about 25.
But what I know he was when he comes to us, he was 23. But what I would question is, if he's looking at that move, right, Fabinho, I love you, lad, yeah, thank you for everything that you've done for me personally and my club, lad, I love you so much. But if you're willing to take a paycheck to check out of football, lad, because that's what you'd be doing if you do that, lads, you're not going to be fighting for no titles anymore, not fighting for no Champions League, kid, gone, everything that is gone, you're checked out, lad. If you're willing to do that and you're accepting that move, then to be honest with you, I don't want you there, lad.
Are we talking about
I
thought we were talking about Phillips.
No, I'm talking about Fabinho, lad.
We've gone past.
And you know what? And this is why I think Klopp is being like, right, is your head being turned? And he's like, yeah, right. And he's like, well, stand in a bit, lads. You can leave. Because Klopp demands 100% commitment from his players. Otherwise, they will not play the way he needs them to play. So, what am I feeling right now? Scared. Very, very nervous, lad. Yes, nervous, bro. We need a number 6.
So, but have you not got the confidence that, you know, Klopp's going to... You've got 2 in already, Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister.
Very good player, but
yeah,
very
boss
good
player.
attacking
so
wise.
Happy with him.
You add Trent into coming
Brilliant.
into midfield. So they said top heavy in the attack wise, but surely you're a 6 away from the rebuild of the midfield that you wanted to see.
That's the point.
You've got ages to get it. No?
Just 1-6.
September.
We need that. But who? Who is it going to be, lad? That's why I'm nervous, because I'm like, all these names are getting chucked around, just don't quite fit, right? Another one that we've been linked with heavily is Amrabat, yeah? Amrabat is a great player, yeah?
Like him.
So in my opinion, similar to a Declan Rice, yeah? I'm not disrespecting your man, okay?
He is.
But he doesn't have that forward ball that we haven't seen, maybe because he plays in certain teams. But the engine on that fella, he sweeps up, mops up, gets the ball.
I'll be honest, I watched that final. He left Declan Rice in the shadows.
Yeah,
mate.
100%.
He was
and the physicality of
I want him at Man United now.
mentality.
And so what the way I think about that
million.
is, I actually don't need forward passes from my number 6 anymore. Do you know why? Because I've got Trent behind him, lads, and I've got Salazar there, and I've got McAllister there, who are all phenomenal attacking players. So all I need you to do, mate, is sweep and get everything up. That's all I want you to do. Just sweep the ball, lads. And so Amrabat, in my mind, at the moment, is the best option for that.
Mils,
cheap price, lad. A runner. He's proven in the sense that he can play consistently. And so that's the one I'm leaning towards right now. However, my heart would be Calvin Phillips if he plays every game, but that's a risk. Every single other player that we're in for is a risk, except for Caicedo. Even him, a little bit one, but big money for it. So
it's interesting hearing you voice your concerns, because, you know, I'm looking at next season already, and the 3 clubs, no disrespect to you guys, that I'm seeing are City, Arsenal, and then Liverpool. I'm kind of looking over my shoulder, and I'm a bit worried about Liverpool, man.
yeah, if we get it going,
I think if you get it right,
You can't. Me personally, I know Man United fans could disagree. You can't not think that Liverpool will be a lot better this season.
Yeah.
Chelsea as well.
Chelsea, I mean,
manager.
I just think you never know how. I just think because he's got so much to do in one window.
Klopp's smart.
If he gets them going, Pochettino, they
I don't think you can dismiss Man United like that.
No, absolutely not. I just didn't. When Laurie
No,
said
no,
that,
I mean,
I didn't even acknowledge.
Let me qualify that by saying I'm not dismissing it, but I'm saying if I'm being honest and I'm looking over my shoulder,
They're the ones.
Yeah, I'm looking at Liverpool thinking,
But
because
it's
even
because
towards the end
Liverpool got the sample size. Liverpool's done it.
even towards the end of last season, their form was
That's what I was
picking
about
up.
to say. And the reason why our form picked up was because Klopp is dynamic enough and not stubborn enough to stick with his old ways. So he changed the system, and he did copy Pep. Why not? He's the best manager in the world.
Yeah.
He's created successful models every single bloody season when he changes his football, and he wins the bloody league with it. So Klopp has dampened his ego and went, you know what can I do with the players I've got right now? I'll do a box midfield and I'll get Trent in there. Look at
And the one thing I would say as well about the Premier League next season is going to be a lot more competitive than it was this season.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Can I ask you this?
I'm going to say this as well. Watch Nunes next season.
I agree.
Watch Nunes.
He's just been given the number 9 shape,
Yeah,
by the way,
he's
you
actually
know.
the number 9 now, isn't he? What, as a Liverpool fan, and interesting to get what you guys think as non-Liverpool fans, if Jordan Henderson was to leave Liverpool, does he go with your blessing? Is this the right time?
You don't mean, no. I love you, lad. I really, honestly, it breaks me heart, lad, because the admiration I have for that fella is through the roof. He is the heart and soul of Liverpool, and he has been for the last 10 years, lad, and he deserves every success that has ever come to him. But the qualm that I have with you right now, mate, is I love you, lad, I do, so don't take this as disrespect, because it's not, but you've outspoken about a lot of things around different communities and whatever else, and if you decide to go to a place where they don't allow them communities, then what is it? What morals do you stand for, lad? And you know, you've got to look at that yourself as a person. You're already a multi-millionaire. You're not like me, lad. If I got offered, I'm skint, lad, I've got no dough.
You're not like me.
you can look after your family for generations to come, lad, and also hold your head up high with what you stood for, lad. I don't think it quite suits your character to go there. Fab can go, lad.
Do you think he will undo a lot of the things that made his character what it is by doing that and getting
mate.
Getting a paycheck?
And I love it. I'm not disrespecting the lad, because I genuinely adore the fella, lad. I think he's wonderful, but he has stood up for something now, and he has to firmly stand on that side if he's going to be there. That's the way I think about it, genuinely. You can't do adverts with Lucy Bronze and all these players, lad, and then go to... You can't. That's just the way I see it. Fab can, because he never stood up for them things. You did. You represent...
What about... Because someone else was saying, I think it was a journalist who knows Henderson quite well, if he can go there and try and be a catalyst for some form of change.
You're not going to be changing nothing.
That's always the alternative argument, isn't it?
And I would love to think of his character as doing that, but the reality is the image would not be portrayed as that, and I don't think Liverpool fans love you, lads. Please don't do that. Like, honestly, like...
Do you think a lot of Liverpool fans share what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that the general
We love
consensus?
this boy, lad, and he's represented our club and himself.
Oh no, I know about the love.
Well.
100% about being a Liverpool legend.
Yeah, okay.
I mean by undoing that by potentially going there.
I speak for myself, can't speak for all fans, but morally, that's the way I stand with you, and that's why I've backed you so much in your career, lad, is because I believed in your character, lad, and yeah, don't let me down on that, brother, because I love you, lad.
Jordan Henderson's Liverpool legacy, just as a player, is it top? Would it be a big miss for Liverpool? Is it the right time in the rebuild, actually, or how do you see it?
Yeah, of course it would be a big miss. I think losing a player of that character is and what a career he's had at Liverpool as well. I remember people laughing at him when he left Sunderland. And especially when he was playing for England in the Euros under Hodgson and that, people laughing at him. He was a bit of a joke, and he's rubbed that in everyone's faces. What he's left a wonderful legacy, and I hope he don't go yet. I hope when it comes down to morally things like that. I've been a bit outspoken about things like that, especially when the World Cup was coming up and things like that. So, yeah, if that's his morals, I hope that, but unfortunately, when it comes to things like that, people leave their morals in the ground, behind them, mate, because it's difficult to turn down that sort of money at that age. It is it must be so difficult, no matter how much money you got. Someone's telling you they're going to pay you 70 million quid, 80 million quid over a season. That's crazy.
Liverpool still need him. Like that, you have a job to do at Liverpool. We still desperately need you.
Yeah.
You might not start every game, but your influence on them lads in that team is going to be echoed for the next few years.
The thing is,
please, lads, stay there.
I think he's the type of character that if Klopp turned around and said, "Look, Jordan, we need you to stay," that's probably why he's gone on a tour.
I agree, lad. I do agree with you. I really do. I think he's thought about it himself and went, "This is my team, lad. I'll live and die by them. I love him, lad. I really do. That boy is a proper, a good man, lad. Like your Marcus Rashford, lad. That's our boy.
Yeah,
he's a good boy.
He's definitely a people person. He's done a lot for Liverpool Football Club, absolutely, and he's a legend.
Yeah, I love him, lad. I genuinely adore the fella, lad. I really do. So it'd break my heart if he did that. To be quite honest with you, it really would. It'd make me upset as a person, lad.
Interesting stuff.
No, I hear that, and I do echo some of those sentiments. The only thing I do kind of agree with you with, it was what Nicky was saying. With the money on offer, it must be so hard to turn that down. I mean, it's very easy for people like us to sit here and say, moralise and say, look, come on now, you've made these statements. You've got to live up to what you're saying. Keep that energy. But on the other hand, you might be looking at like, again, you're in the twilight of your career. An unbelievable amount of money is being laid at your door. A new challenge as well.
Yeah.
He's seen other players go there. And like you said, Flex, he might be saying, well, I can be a beacon of light in a country like that, being outspoken. You never know, that might, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting
If it did happen, I'd love to think that's the type of positive impact he would have on different communities. I would love to think that. However, the reality is probably wouldn't. So yeah, I'd love to see you stay, Jordan, lads. Absolutely, please do.
What? Just before we move on from that, do you think he will go? Do you think has it died down? I remember at the beginning it was, that's a load of rubbish. Then it was, no, he's really considering this thing. And now I've seen on social media, it's a bit died down a bit. What's the latest as you understand it?
Exactly what Nicky just said. I think Klopp's had a way with him and said, lad, there's room for you in this team, and you're our captain, and actually to let you go would be a big thing for us, lad. We need you in this team. Can you please stay with us? Fabinho, yeah, he's a massive integral part, but Jordan Henderson, the stuff he's done for this club and the inspiration that he has for the other lads, we need you, lad.
I do think though that if you sign Calvin Phillips, and I'm going to say this, I think as a footballer, I think he has the edge on him. But
I think Calvin Phillips is going to go and play football. He's had a year where he ain't played any football.
Yeah,
I think if he goes anywhere, he's going to want to go somewhere where he's.
If he does come Calvin Phillips at his best, he'll be one of our best players. Yeah, that's it.
With that,
and I'd love to see that style of Calvin Phillips. Yeah. But we haven't seen him for 2 years. So what we're talking about, samples and all that type of stuff. Your last 2 years has not given us much to go off. I'd love you to think you're a great player, lad. Fantastic player.
I get what you're saying about the injury concerns, but I think as a footballer, he's a very good footballer. And I've said it before. When you give someone like that, hopefully anyway, the challenge that would be put before him, a club like Liverpool, working with a manager like Klopp, to me, it makes a lot of sense.
Especially in the moment that what you said earlier, he's going to come into a team where you're going to say, you're going to start every match, lad. So are you ready for this opportunity? Because you can do it, lad. You can win Prems, Champions Leagues, whatever you want, lad. It's up for grabs, but you've got to take this opportunity.
And you've got some other young supporting characters in there.
Bajitek, he's a 19-year-old kid. And this is why, like, the Lavia thing, brilliant. What a great
you've
player
got
again.
A young kid there. I didn't spend 50
exactly,
minutes.
Lads.
He's had a long injury, fair enough. I get that, but he was brilliant when he came in. Probably, I saw some interviews saying he didn't expect to get into that level, but that's how things happen. The same way happened with Marcus Rashford. Yeah, a few injuries happen. All of a sudden, you're in the first team. Get on a good run. Now you're known, and then he could literally take that mantelpiece, and so we don't have to spend 50 million on another 18, 19. I don't know how old Lavia is, but he's young as well. So
19.
And that's why I'm leaning towards the Amrabat, Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips is a little bit more of a risk, but them two for me, and Caicedo's, but it's too much.
On to Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea trying to get Moises Caicedo out of Brighton. It's not about official bids we've got here, as Chelsea and Brighton are discussing directly, club to club, but proposal will be improved upon, more than 70 million fixed. Where's the best place for Caicedo to go? And what difference could he make at Chelsea?
I think he should stay at Brighton.
Really?
For another season.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Why not? They're going to be playing in Europe. They've had a great season. They're a club where you can
Chelsea
learn.
Are not
He's
in
21.
Yeah.
Don't forget Caicedo when he made that, some would say, unfortunate statement when he was linked with Arsenal. He spoke then, didn't he? Not the most eloquent. Yeah. But he spoke about coming from a poor background and the money that he would make and stuff like that. I think he's not going to be at Brighton.
He won't, but I think he should. I think he should.
Don't go Chelsea, lads.
So you saying don't go to any of them big
to Chelsea?
Boys
no, but Chelsea.
Do not go there.
I agree, lads.
Could he work? You got him who's going to do the running around, free up Enzo Fernandez.
I think what we're doing is we're looking at Chelsea in the old model, and this is supposed to be a new Chelsea, and we have actually seen a new Chelsea because they finished 10th last season. Do you know what I'm saying? 12th. Wow. Yeah. So yes, Pochettino coming in, he might develop that player in the ways that he absolutely needs to do it. But having said that, the way Chelsea is spending at the moment, it doesn't look like they really care about each individual player that they're buying. To be quite honest with you,
let's have it right. Chelsea are not going to be as bad as they were last season. No, and with the likes of Caicedo coming in. But they're going to be seen as those players that are going to up the levels and take them, forward. So if you're Caicedo, you want to be seen as part of that. I'm pretty sure he'll play most games.
He's young enough, Laurie. This, if you think I'm talking nonsense, please tell me. But there's a lot to do at Chelsea, a hell of a lot. And when you're with a player like Caicedo, if you can bring him into a team where you can concentrate on him and get the best out of him, but he's just going to be one of a...
That's exactly
of
what
20.
I think. That's what I think.
You know what I mean? Like, and
I think he'd be the main guy.
No, I think so as well, especially with Kante.
He'll be starting every week.
But they've got this. I'm not saying he won't start every week, but just in terms of his development, he's 21-year-old boy. That's he's played a lot of games for Brighton. He's done really well for Brighton, but they've still got to get the best out of Mudryk, Fernandez. They've got to concentrate on all these players, and I don't think he'll get the.
I hear that.
The
one-to-one.
But what I would say...
Poch is perfect.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
But let him do the work first. He's got to sort out everything that's there before he starts bringing him...
No, but if you're Caicedo, wouldn't you want to be part of a...
rebuild.
Excitable rebuild project? I think you would. especially with the money that's been offered.
honest,
I mean, the man's on record as saying that, you know what I mean, he comes from a poor background.
No, I
the
understand.
chance to earn big money would uplift his
He
family
wants out
in a
quick.
way. Yeah, he wants
loved
out.
Arsenal. The other window was.
And let's be honest. Let's be brutally honest as well. As much
he's
as we
21 years old.
Yeah, but
he's not going to be earning 500 quid a week. He's on good money anyway. You know.
I said that because
he
he himself referenced money
yeah.
as a motivation for leaving Brighton.
Well, if he wants money, then go Chelsea.
Yeah,
they're wrong about the money.
But the thing is as well, I also think that the Chelsea project under Pochettino, and I hate to big up an ex-Tottenham manager, I think that's an exciting project.
It is.
So potentially you want to be part of that. And not only that, let's be honest, as well as Brighton done, there is a ceiling there, isn't it?
Of course.
Whereas Chelsea's ceiling is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So as Caicedo, looking at that, you're probably, him and his agent will be looking at that and think that is a far more exciting project with respect than staying at Brighton.
I think you're right that it's an exciting project, but I don't think a 21-year-old kid walking into a club of that mess will get the nurturing and development.
Well, this is where Pochettino comes in.
Yeah, it does, but he's got a lot to do. They're not going to let him go in and buy Caicedo and just concentrate on making Caicedo, because they've got Fernandes that they paid 100 million quid for. They've got Mudryk that they played close to that for. They've got a lot of factors there that they need to
I agree.
get right first.
But they've also,
because it wasn't right.
There's one factor that you, with respect, are overlooking. Kante's gone now. A lot of people see Caicedo as that kind of Kante type player.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think he fits straight in, man.
Yeah.
To me, that's a no-brainer.
I
would have liked him at Arsenal. I'm not going to lie.
I think all of us at this table would all take him.
Liverpool.
Absolutely.
If you're a Chelsea fan, you should be excited that your club's linked
and I
with
think
Caicedo.
they are. I think I understand the kind of order of ceremonies that you're kind of basically saying, that like they need to basically get their stuff together first before they get a player like that. But then I look at it and I'm like, well, Pochettino's a project manager, and he needs projects to work on. He needs the tools. I think you almost need to create a squad that has the top young players ready to take the next step. If I look at like what he did with Dele Alli, what he did with Kyle Walker, what he did with Eriksen, what he did with Harry Kane, this is perfect for him to try and recreate that. And they've already got, they've got Madueke, they've got Mudryk, they've got Enzo Fernandez, they've got Badiashile, they've got Fofana. But in central midfield, they're having an overhaul too. You know, Kante's gone, Loftus-Cheek's gone. He's got a Conor Gallagher who can run around. Mason Mount's gone. So actually, there's a bit of a void there where he needs that quality, I think, in that area to actually work with. I think he's actually
it's a lot of pressure for us 21.
Huge pressure. And
I'll be honest, if I was,
he's ready for it though. I think
if he's talking about money, that put me right off at 21.
No, but you have to understand his circumstances, though.
Laurie, I was poor.
Yeah, but you didn't come from the favelas of Ecuador.
No, I didn't come from the favelas of Ecuador, mate, but I come from the slums of Canning Town.
No,
and my shoes melted on my feet, mate, and I couldn't.
I want to make it clear. I'm not trying to minimise that. I'm just putting myself in Caicedo's shoes.
I understand.
He's come from another country, very poor family. He said that on the record. But money is a motivation for him.
Right now, Laurie, he's not doing a job where he's earning £4 a week. He's earning tens of thousands.
Yeah, so you're saying there's time for him to get all the money he wants.
Of course.
Let me ask you this, Nicky. If he was this close to going to Liverpool or Man United or Spurs, not Spurs, Liverpool or Man United, not Chelsea, would your feelings be different?
Yeah.
Because I know you don't. Chelsea's not your team.
No, they're not. No, but they're a mess.
Yeah,
they're a mess. That's why they've had to do. They spend all this money. They're a mess. They're an absolute. Since Abramovich left, they're a mess.
But can I say this though? And again, I kind of hate to give them too much credit down the road, but if you're a Chelsea fan and you're in this mess, and we all agree they are in a mess, if you're bringing in a manager to try and get you out of the mess, I would say, based on what I've seen, that Pochettino is one of those managers where you would feel that you're in relatively safe hands.
But they thought that with Potter.
Yeah.
And that's why they
with respect,
that's why they let him spend so much money.
I think Pochettino's different grade.
He is.
I don't think he was in control of it. That's Todd Bowley doing everything. I think now with Poch, could be their Arsenal moment where they, obviously it's a bit different because they had a takeover and it's all crazy. I do feel like Chelsea will begin to settle down now. It is going to take multiple transfer windows. It's going to take maybe a couple of seasons. But I think we might be...
And let's not forget, let's not understate this.
Surprised with what Pochettino can do in a short
And let's not forget this, man. The man's coming in there with a point to prove.
Yeah, he's Caicedo or Poch?
Poch.
yeah.
After what happened with him at Tottenham.
Yeah.
You see that he's gone to one of their rivals.
He's already said they're the best team.
That's
what he said.
He said
Chelsea's been in league actually.
Yeah, he did say that.
He said Chelsea's been the best team in the league 10, 15 years.
What he done with Tottenham was fantastic. Yeah, to make them Champions League final and contenders, but he's a serial failure. He's a serial failure.
But I think he's just right for Chelsea now.
I haven't said that. Right? You know what I said? I said he's like the Argentinian Graham Potter. He's like a little bit better than him, lad. He can play like South American football.
The thing with Poch, I think he gets really unfairly labelled because of the Spurs thing. Let's not listen.
And PSG.
Yeah. But here's the thing with that. Right. Like what you say, it means you're going to be disrespectful if we say this. With all due respect to Spurs, yeah?
But
right?
Without wishing to
Spurs are not synonymous with trophies. They never have been.
No.
They've got Harry Kane, arguably one of the best strikers there's been.
They've been telling me different for years.
Right. They're Spurs. They don't win anything. Even Jose couldn't win. They're left straight away, won with Roma. Brian Gill now has a Europa League. Couldn't win anything. This is...
Did Lille win the league, though, while Poch was managing them?
Say that again?
Did Lille win the league when Poch was managing PSG?
No, he won the league, didn't he?
Yeah, but while his tenure was there, did Lille win the league also? Because I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah, but what they're saying is that he didn't. The thing is at PSG is this, right? I'm saying you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because essentially, who walks into PSG and comes out a better manager with a higher stock? Thomas Tuchel went there, didn't do it, left there, went to Chelsea. Now his stock's back again. The guy's at Bayern. Unai Emery went into there, stocks went down, comes out of there, and now look at him. He's now at Villa. He's been at Villa.
So what you're saying, you don't judge PSG as a benchmark.
I'm saying Poch's. I think he's made some questionable. He's been at two clubs,
two duds,
where it's like,
yeah.
But I'm saying even at Spurs. He made Spurs relevant to the point where since he's left, look at the state of them now.
Well, under Pochettino, they got to a Champions League final. They got to a Champions League final.
Spurs and he had Arsenal fans thinking their life's over. Now, they ended up doing the Spurs thing and failing, but that's a Spurs thing. I think to say that he ain't done anything in the game, unless you win the Champions League at PSG.
I think he was fortunate.
Then you failed.
I think any manager that would have had Harry Kane would have done similar. Kane and Son. I think they're the two players that in their prime. He's 24, 25. You're talking 6-7 years ago now. A 35 goal a season striker. I think any manager would challenge for anything.
I don't know. I mean, listen, we've got our issues.
Spurs a pony though.
I remember.
They weren't pony then.
I remember
because he made
myself and Toby going at it. Myself and Toby, shout out to Toby.
Poch is a wicked manager.
And he's been eulogising, he's elite. And I used to say to him, but where's the trophies to back this up?
Yeah. But now he's won some at PSG. It's PSG.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't go there.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is that even though I sort of clowned on some of his achievements or lack thereof, I always knew that deep down he was a very good manager. Yeah. What I'm saying, him going to Chelsea now, to me, he's kind of exactly what they need. A young, progressive manager who's going to come in there. He's not afraid to kick some ass, get rid of some of the deadwood, bring in some new guys, your Caicedos. If I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm thinking, yeah, man.
But he's also looking at Harry Maguire, and I've heard Dele Alli.
Well, he's worked with Dele Alli before. Maybe he thinks he can get a tune out of him.
Why has no one... Right, I genuinely don't understand this. Why has no one in for Paulina? Like, why is nobody... He was the best centre defensive.
We are.
Literally, he was...
They want 100 million quid.
Yeah, the irony, yeah.
He was the best number 6 in the league, apart from Rodri, last season, lad. He was incredible.
He's very...
Chill out, Casemiro plays in the league.
He's very tight down.
I know Fabinho's fallen off. Speak for you, yeah.
Yeah, insane,
chill out.
He was, yeah.
No, he was really good. He was really good.
He's so tied down to Fulham, I think they just want too much.
Loads of money. Okay.
We've come to the end of the show. There was a super chat here. I think it might have disappeared. There you go. GP says, good riddance to Rice. A Judas 100.
No.
He's earned this, lads.
Absolutely. He's earned it. And
not only that, man. Come on, man. You're 105 mil richer. It's down to West Ham now to use that money effectively.
That's the problem, though, Lauren. That's the problem.
Lad. He's done your club a favour because that's the biggest. Do you know what your last one was? Your highest transfer before him?
Bellamy?
25 mil.
Yeah, Bellamy.
25 mil. And he went for 105 mil, lad. Yeah. They're like, West Ham are like, yes, lad, get the shot.
Can I ask a question though on that? Would you allow me to? Yeah. With that 105 mil, okay, you're getting some of it in instalments. Are you confident that David Moyes has the wherewithal to use that money effectively. And
we're getting turned around down left, right, and centre, Laurie. I'll be honest. From what I've been hearing, we're getting turned down left, right, and centre. And no. No, I don't.
No, because that is, you know what I mean, it's all very well getting 105 million.
Look how Chelsea
It's a bit like buying a house in London.
I think
it's a bit like buying a house in London. You sell your house, get £1 million. You think, well, £1 million, but try buying another house in London.
One bedroom flat, lad.
Yeah.
I think, that's the thing. The market's gone mad.
Yeah.
You know, you've got like Sir Balogun, 50 million quid, never played two games for Arsenal. I think he's got, and
50 mil.
But for 50 mil, it's not so much that. I'm just worried.
Do you trust him with that money?
No.
Yeah.
I won't trust him with a pack of biscuits.
Come on, he's a West Ham legend.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you know what he is?
Come on, don't forget the highs.
No, he's been a wonderful manager for us,
this.
and he's exactly what he needed at the time. But we cannot afford as a club, because a lot of people do forget is that we have got a good squad still. You know what I mean? We've got Aguirre is quality.
Yeah.
Paquetá is quality. Skamaka is quality. Bowen is quality.
Yeah, they've got some good
It's
players.
not like Souček in his day is a good player. You know
Don't forget my reggae boy, Mikel Antonio.
Mikel is on his way down. You know what I mean? Like the quality's going a little bit, but still a good player.
Yeah.
People making so much fuss about Declan Rice. Declan Rice is a massive part of it, obviously, but we've still got a good squad. We've still got a good squad.
And they can build upon that. If
We can, yeah. And like sometimes the night is darkest just before the dawn, as they say. And but do I trust him? No, I wouldn't.
But you know
trust
what,
him.
Flex,
We can't afford to be buying players like Skamaka, who looks like he wants out. Haller, who wanted out underneath him for 50 million quid, and then be selling them for 20. We bought Felipe Anderson for 40 million pounds and sold him for 2.
Wow.
This is the thing, right? This is the trap I'm scared you're going to fall into is, do you know, like when you grow up and you've had no dough and then you get your first paycheck, and you're like, oh my God, I've got loads of money, and you spend it all in 2 weeks, lad.
Yeah.
That's what might happen to West Ham. You might get 105 million and they're like, yeah, do you want Harry Maguire, bro?
You've only got to look down the road at with
yeah.
Tottenham when they got the Gareth Bale money.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to waste.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, thanks for joining the show, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. One super chat on the way out, actually. Amir says, do you think Arteta could stay at Arsenal for 10 plus years? I think the days of managers staying at clubs for years are forging a dynasty are
You
set
lot
to
be
return.
shouting for him to go after 6 months.
They're
sitting fifth in the league and they're at the Champions League.
And this is not just exclusive to Arsenal. When it comes to management, it's not a long-term thing like that. People like to talk about, for the long term. It's not. It's about results.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it
is
is.
it?
It's all based off meritocracy.
There's a couple, though. If I look at Arteta, unless Barcelona come knocking at some point, maybe, I look at Arteta and think, if he keeps going like this, he could stay there.
He has to win.
Yeah, but it would be heavily dependent.
Oh, of
on
course. If you don't get the results, you can't do
yeah.
it.
If you get to Premier League, he's got
There's no
next 3
sentiment
years.
in this thing.
Yeah.
Because I've already heard people fans saying that if we don't challenge
you've got to
and win this and that, he's got to be.
But longevity is earned. It's not just given to you. If you win some big,
it's all about
trophies and
results.
gets buy-in.
And with more money, more results.
Yeah, exactly.
More money, more problems.
We'll be back later on Thursday. I won't be here then.
I'll be
but there you go. Doyle will be here. Nikki.
So more nonsense from me.
More nonsense from these guys. Make sure you keep tuning in, and we will see you all again very, very soon. Take care, guys. Peace.